Uh, Hello, everybody. My name is Bettina, and tonight I will be your leader. We are moving into part two of our group session. Just to summarize of what we all discussed in our last meeting, we all familiarized ourselves with one another and our overall goals for the group. We discussed our housekeeping rules. And for tonight, we're going to move into one of the main goals. But just to go over a couple of things, our housekeeping rules for this evening. Number one, what happens here stays here. We will keep everything confidential. We will respect one another. In the event that anyone has an important call or something that they need to handle that's outside of the group, I will ask if you could just please step out and finish your conversation and or your phone call, just to be respectful of the other members. And as well, we will have 5-minute breaks, just to make sure we're not tiring ourselves out or things are being or things don't feel repetitive. As well, I want to introduce my co-leader, Ms. Jaquoiyia.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Jaquoiyia, and I will be you guys' co-leader for tonight. We're glad everyone has came back, and we look forward to the progress that you guys will be making.
All right. So, one of the goals that we are going to discuss tonight are our triggers. Is everyone familiar of what a trigger is? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes, what sets you off? What makes you go there from 0 to 100?
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jamaica. So we're going to discuss that because I know with dealing with anger, sometimes we can become angry just out of the blue and not necessarily understand why we are angry. And understanding our triggers will help us to maintain ourselves and also gain understanding of what in that moment caused me to become so upset and what can I do to keep myself calm so those things don't affect me nor cause me to elevate and become angry. So we're going to move into an activity to further dive into our triggers. Let's see. Let's say, for example, we're going to do an example. Let's say you're at a gas station and you're waiting for a pump and the car in front of you has not pulled up. They're texting on their phone. They may be waiting on someone. They may be getting gas. We're not sure. In that event, would that trigger anyone to become upset? What would y'all do in that moment? It's an open floor, you guys, as well.
Normally,
I will go ahead and I don't have time to sit and wait for you to do whatever it is you're doing. So while you sitting to the side, let me pull up and do what I need to do so I can
go. Okay. Anyone else?
I actually had that happen to me just yesterday. And because I'm going to anger management class, I tried to apply, what I learned. So I tried to just count to myself, like just to give them a minute and be like, rationalize in my head, like maybe she's on the phone with her child, maybe it's an emergency, and kind of count to 10 just to give her some time to get out of my way, as opposed to just jumping off the handle immediately, be like, this lady sitting over here taking my time. She know I got somewhere else to go and something else to do. So I did try to do that or use, some of the skills that I learned the last meeting and just kind of count and be patient.
Okay, that's a good skill.
I wish I was that strong, it's a learning progress, So with learning what we've learned, the different coping skills that we've learned from the past session, I know what I should do, but I feel like I would still respond in a way that I would in the past. So I'm a work in progress. I still have some triggers I need to work on. And I'm also still learning my triggers too.
Okay.
Normally, I would just go to laying on the horn, just laying on the horn. But since I've been taking the class, I've learned to better respond rather than react. So what I more than likely do is just back up and leave out of that gas station and go to another one.
Okay, that's a great method. Okay.
Yeah, I remove myself from the situation because I feel myself, getting angry because she's sitting there blocking the pump, and I'm already on fumes. So I really believe that I'll just, remove myself from that situation and possibly, either look for another pump or maybe, um, drive and pray down the street a little while, to the next gas station to get me some, to get my gas because her emergency was not my emergency. So I just feel like I just need to give her that time because, she could have had, something could have been going on. So I thought about getting out the car, knocking on her window, but she may have something in that car for me. So I'm scared of guns. So I just decided to remove myself from the situation.
Okay, that was great. Yes, let's not knock on any windows or doors. Let's not do that, Um, anyone else would like to share?
I'm
think
just
it's
learning
just
to be patient. Sometimes I have to just, like Delisha said, just you never know what a person's going through. So just be patient, try to go to another pump. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay, so hearing everyone's response, could we all possibly agree that one of our triggers would be, I guess, the lack of consideration in that situation, I guess that individual not acknowledging, their actions and how it's inconveniencing others in that moment. So,
I agree. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
okay. So just to piggyback off of Ms. Delisha, I think removing yourself from that situation and or finding another pump is a great way because instead of you getting upset and exerting unnecessary energy into that situation, you can easily just, find another pump and or another gas station. Because regardless, your purpose was to go to get gas. So there's no real reason to become irate, and overall not get gas because then you're gonna run out of gas. Co-leaders, oh,
Yes, you guys have made a very, very good point regarding the situation at hand. And I think just to piggyback off what everybody have said is to first self-reflect. I think that's good too. Everybody know what our purpose is of the group. That is to manage your anger. One, we identify we all got to have patience in some form of fashion. We may not be in this situation, maybe another situation that we run into. We could be driving, we can be in the gas station or the grocery store. You never know. But I think identifying or overall self-reflecting or while we're here, that will kind of assist us with identifying ways that we can identify our triggers. Because a lot of times you never know what your triggers are until you get there. You're put in that situation where you kind of got to make a decision. What it could be a positive decision or it could be a negative decision. And when you do that, self-reflecting on what could happen if you do this will kind of assist you in one identifying, okay, if I do this, this may happen, or going back to the consequences that will occur if you make that decision. So definitely identifying what could happen if you make this decision. That will kind of also assist you in identifying with what could be your trigger and how to respond to that trigger.
and that is very true because every action does not need a reaction. And us understanding our triggers, that'll also help us to better understand that and apply it to the situations that we may find ourselves in to where we feel like we're being inconvenienced or our time isn't being considered. We can't always respond with our first initial response. We definitely have to self-reflect and think things, think think everything out, just to make sure that your response is the right response. Because once again, we are here for anger management. So we definitely want to take that into consideration. So we're going to wrap that up for tonight. We enjoyed everyone. Would anybody have any questions regarding anything or any comments about tonight's session? All right, well, we look forward to seeing you guys next week.